In this video, we're going to learn how to play our standard C major open chord. So first things first, one thing I see with a lot of students is the thumb tends to creep up over like this, and then what ends up happening sometimes is students are kind of gripping the neck too tightly and their wrist kind of looks like this at the back. It's a very tense situation. So what we want is to bring that thumb back behind the first and second fingers approximately. So behind the neck, it looks kind of like this, okay? And it's not a huge deal if the thumb comes up a little bit, because that thumb does tend to vary a little bit between different people, and myself as well as a player. It does vary depending on what I'm playing, but ultimately we don't want it right over like this because this is a really bad hand position. So that's just something general to look out for. So as for actually playing the chord, you can see the chord diagram on the screen. What we've got is the third finger on the third fret of the A string, the second finger on the second fret of the D string, and the first finger on the first fret of the B string. And those three fingers are there at the same time. Now, one thing that doesn't always get pointed out is that obviously the temptation to bring that thumb up and mute the low E is there. And that's kind of okay, but really you don't want to be muting the low E with the thumb. What you actually want to be doing is muting the low E with the third finger here. So if I give you a little close-up there, even closer, you can see that there's no gap between my third finger and the low E string. If there was a gap, it would look like this. You see that tiny little gap there? Well, that means that now when I play the low E string, it makes a noise. But if I move that finger up just slightly, so that it's now touching the low E as well as playing the A string, my low E string is muted. And that means when you come to do chord strumming, you haven't got to worry so much about not hitting the low E, because this now it doesn't actually matter because you've already muted it. So give that a try and good luck.